Look, it's no secret that there's a lot of powerful forces behind the transition to electric vehicles, but there's a lot of obstacles and problems that still haven't been solved. One is the battery problem, and this is one that is still not resolved and starting to get worse. Many companies can't fix their supply chain problems because the materials that go into batteries are not unlimited in resources. Right? If you're building an internal combustion engine out of metal, you can mine iron and steel all over the place, and aluminum. The materials that go into an electric car battery are limited supply. There is a supply issue. What is the solution that's being offered? This is road and track. One solution is to go smaller. Well, what does that mean? Is that what we want to do? What they're suggesting is that you might not care if you can only have 250 miles instead of 325. You might even prefer it. So what they're saying is the solution to the limited supply of materials for batteries is to convince electric vehicle buyers that they don't need to go that far. You only need to go 250 miles instead of 325. What are your thoughts on this? Is this the whole idea? The whole idea of electric vehicles is to increase the range. That's one of the biggest obstacles for electric vehicles, is people don't want to be restricted on how far they can drive without having to recharge. In spite of all that, the manufacturers say that they're this close to killing ICE cars, internal combustion cars, for good. And who knows if that's the case? Who knows if the public is going to accept vehicles with a shorter range? Look, most vehicles right now have a range of about 400 miles. Gas cars, gasoline-powered cars. And not only is the range 400, but the fill-up is very quick. Pull into a gas station, 2 minutes later, you're full up, got another 400 miles. If you're buying a car with a 250 range, that's about a 40% reduction in how far you can drive. And your charging time is a lot higher. Now, maybe people's lifestyles can accommodate for that, but there's a bigger problem. The bigger problem is where the materials come from for electric vehicle batteries. Right now, China provides 79% of the global market and 90% of the anodes. Those are one part of a battery. So as of right now, China is the source for the vast majority of the major component part of an electric vehicle. That could be a problem, because if the global market, or the China market for that matter, needs more, they may not export as much to other countries like the United States. And at the present time, we don't have the raw materials from our own domestic sources to replace any of that. It's even worse for future, more efficient batteries. Manganese, which is a component in battery production for the more modern batteries, it's 93%, and China has a virtual 100% monopoly on pure graphite. That's one of the products that goes into batteries that will make more efficient batteries, or more efficient electric vehicles. So these are all headwinds. One other headwind that's starting to bubble up is that electric vehicles have more problems than combustion engine cars. Now, granted, some of this technology is new, so maybe there's more bugs to work out of the systems, but electric vehicles and plug-in hybrids have more problems per 100 vehicles than gasoline vehicles. That's going to turn off a lot of buyers. Electric vehicle owners reported 240 problems per 100 vehicles, compared to 175 for gas engine models. These vehicles should have less problems. There's less moving parts. So if, for example, buyers taking their first go-around with an electric vehicle are now finding that they're not reliable, in addition to not being able to charge them and go on long trips, it may slow down the adoption of that mode of transportation. Tell us what you think about the electric vehicle future, how it fits into your lifestyle, and where do you think this is going in our culture?